You know what really grinds my gears? When people say WWE doesn't build new stars anymore, when they claim the company is stuck in the past, recycling the same old names. Well, guess what happened on Monday Night Raw that's about to make every single one of those critics eat their words? Bron Breakker, the 26-year-old absolute machine, just walked up to the most protected, most dominant champion in WWE history and did something no one has had the guts to do in years. He looked Roman Reigns dead in the eyes and said, "Your time is up." And here's the thing that's going to make you furious. The WWE universe is split right down the middle, and it's getting ugly out here. One side is saying Bron Breakker hasn't earned the right to challenge the tribal chief. They're saying he needs to pay his dues and wait his turn like everyone else. The other side? They're screaming that Roman's reign has gone on too long and it's time for fresh blood to take the throne. But here's what nobody is talking about, and this is what should have you heated right now. The WWE has kept Bron Breakker on the back burner for months while he's been demolishing everyone in his path. This is the same guy who made grown men look like children in NXT. The same genetic freak who's been begging for a main event opportunity. And what did WWE do? They kept feeding him mid-card talent while Roman Reigns defended his title maybe twice a year against carefully selected opponents. And now they want to act like this match is premature? I'm calling BS on that, and by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this rivalry isn't just necessary, it's the only way WWE survives the next decade. And if you disagree, drop your hottest take in the comments, because we're about to break down why Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns is the match that will literally change everything. Welcome back to Wrestle Scope, where we don't just report the news, we predict the future. Let's get into it. Let's set the scene. Monday Night Raw. The Tribal Chief's music hits and the entire arena loses their minds. Roman walks out with that familiar smirk, the championship gleaming on his shoulder, Paul Heyman by his side preaching about the longest reigning Universal Champion in WWE history and the greatest of all time. Standard stuff, right? We've seen this 100 times. But then the lights shift, the crowd erupts, and Bron Breakker's music explodes through the speakers. Now, if you were watching social media during this segment, it was chaos. Half the people were marking out, the other half were typing "who?" with 3 question marks like they've been living under a rock. And that's the problem with today's WWE audience. They're so conditioned to the same names that when a legitimate star emerges, they don't know how to react. Bron Breakker walks down that ramp with a purpose we haven't seen in years. No hesitation, no fear. This isn't some starstruck rookie happy to be in the same ring as Roman Reigns. This is a man who knows exactly what he's capable of, and he's done waiting for permission. He grabs the microphone, and here's where it gets good. Roman, for 3 years, I've watched you talk about legacy, about bloodlines, about being the head of the table. But you know what I see? I see a man who's afraid of the next generation. I see a champion who picks and chooses his battles. I see someone who knows his time is running out. The crowd is nuclear at this point. Paul Heyman is red in the face, shouting about disrespect and knowing your place. But Roman just stands there, analyzing, calculating, because he knows something the rest of us are just starting to realize. Bron Breakker isn't just another challenger. He's the future standing in front of the present, demanding his moment. And then Bron says the line that has the entire wrestling world buzzing. "I'm not here to acknowledge you, Roman. I'm here to replace you." Replace you. Not beat you, not dethrone you, replace you. That's a declaration. That's a young lion telling the old king that the kingdom is about to change hands whether he likes it or not. Roman's expression shifts. For the first time in what feels like forever, we see something in his eyes. Not fear exactly, but recognition. He sees what's coming. He sees that this isn't going away. And the tribal chief does something he rarely does. He accepts the challenge. Right there. No games, no politics. You want a shot at the tribal chief? You got it. But when I break you, don't say I didn't warn you. And just like that, the match is set. Now, let's talk about why this rivalry is exactly what WWE needs right now, because if you're one of those people saying it's too soon or Bron isn't ready, you're missing the entire point of professional wrestling. First, let's address the elephant in the room, Roman Reigns' title reign. Look, I've been one of Roman's biggest defenders. His tribal chief character is phenomenal. His in-ring work has been the best of his career. His promos are top tier. But, and this is a big but, even the greatest championship runs have to end at some point, and they need to end in a way that means something. Roman has beaten everyone: The Fiend, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cody Rhodes twice, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso. The list goes on and on. At a certain point, beating another established star doesn't elevate Roman anymore. It just shrinks the roster. But Bron Breakker? That's a different story. Here's a guy who comes from wrestling royalty, the son of Rick Steiner, nephew of Scott Steiner. But he's not trading on that legacy. He's building his own. The comparisons to Goldberg are there: the intensity, the explosive offense, the legitimate athletic background. But Bron has something Goldberg never had at this stage: polish. This guy can actually wrestle. He can tell a story. He can work a 20-minute match without gassing out. And here's the thing that's going to make you think. Roman Reigns is 40 years old. He's been the top guy for a decade in various forms. His body has been through wars. He's a cancer survivor who's given everything to this business. At some point, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, Roman is going to step back. Whether it's to do movies, spend time with family, or just preserve his health, the WWE needs a successor. And who else is there? Cody Rhodes is fantastic, but he's 39. Seth Rollins is 38. Drew McIntyre is 39. The next generation of WWE main eventers are all pushing 40 themselves. Bron Breakker is 26 years old. If WWE plays this right, they have their next decade-long main eventer right now. This isn't just a match. This is the passing of the torch, whether the old guard is ready for it or not. Let's talk about something that adds layers to this rivalry: family legacy. Roman Reigns never lets us forget about his bloodline. The Anoa'i family is wrestling royalty. The Rock, Yokozuna, Rikishi, Umaga, the Usos, Solo Sikoa. The family tree is stacked with legends. Roman Reigns built his entire championship around the concept that his family's legacy makes him untouchable. But here comes Bron Breakker, and guess what? His family legacy is just as impressive. Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner, the Steiner brothers, are legitimate tag team legends. Multiple-time world tag team champions across multiple promotions. Scott Steiner had a singles run that made him one of the most feared men in wrestling. Rick Steiner was one of the toughest, most respected workers in the business. And Bron's grandfather, Bob "Goon" Hanley, was also in the business. Wrestling is in his blood, just like it's in Roman's. So when people try to say Bron hasn't earned this opportunity, what they're really saying is they don't know their wrestling history. This isn't some outsider trying to break into the main event. This is wrestling royalty versus wrestling royalty. This is dynasty versus dynasty. And here's where the narrative gets spicy. The Anoa'i family has been on top of WWE for years now. Roman as Universal or Undisputed Champion, the Usos as the longest reigning tag team champions in history, Solo Sikoa moving up the card. The family has essentially controlled WWE's main event scene. Meanwhile, the Steiner legacy in WWE has been complicated. Scott Steiner's run in the early 2000s didn't go as planned. Rick retired and stepped away from the spotlight. The family name, while respected, hasn't had championship gold in WWE in decades. Bron Breakker isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting to restore his family's legacy in the biggest company in the world. He's fighting to prove that the Steiner name belongs at the top, not just in the history books. That's real. That's compelling. That's the kind of story that makes people care. Now let's talk about something that has me incredibly excited about this potential match: the physical dynamic. Roman Reigns is a powerful, intelligent wrestler. He's mastered the art of working smarter, not harder. His offense is calculated, methodical, and brutally effective. The Superman punch, the spear, the guillotine choke. Roman knows how to put people away, and he knows how to do it in a way that protects himself while maximizing damage to his opponent. But Bron Breakker is a different kind of athlete entirely. This man was a football player at Kennesaw State University. Not just any football player, he was good enough to get looks from NFL scouts. The speed, the power, the explosive athleticism. Bron has the kind of physical tools that come along once in a generation. When Bron hits that military press slam, it looks effortless. Guys who weigh 230 pounds look like they're made of paper when Bron throws them around. His standing moonsault, a move that requires incredible body control and athleticism, he makes it look easy. And his spear, let me tell you something, Bron Breakker's spear might be the most devastating in WWE right now. Yes, I said it. Fight me in the comments. The man flies across the ring with the kind of velocity that makes you wince. It looks like he's trying to put people through the mat, not just on it. When Roman and Bron inevitably have their spear versus spear moment in this rivalry, the roof is going to blow off whatever arena they're in. Here's what makes this matchup so intriguing from an in-ring perspective. Roman has the experience and the ring IQ. Bron has the physical superiority and the hunger. It's the classic old bull versus young bull scenario, and it's going to be must-see television. Let's talk about what's really on the line here, because this goes way beyond just another championship match. For Roman Reigns, this is about cementing his legacy as the greatest. If he beats Bron Breakker, especially if he does it decisively, Roman can make the argument that he didn't just beat everyone from his generation, he beat the next generation too. That's the mark of a true all-time great. Think about Ric Flair going into the 90s and beating younger guys like Sting and Vader. That's the kind of legacy-defining moment Roman is looking for. But if Roman loses, that's the beginning of the end. Not immediately maybe, but the cracks would start showing. The tribal chief character is built on dominance, on being unstoppable. One loss to a younger, hungrier opponent, and suddenly the illusion shatters. Suddenly, people start wondering if the tribal chief's time is really up. For Bron Breakker, the stakes are even higher. This is his moment. This is the opportunity he's been working towards since he stepped into a wrestling ring. Beat Roman Reigns, and he becomes a made man overnight. Instant main event superstar, instant credibility, instant legend status. But if he loses, especially if he loses badly, the narrative becomes he wasn't ready. He was pushed too fast. He's not at that level yet. It could set his career back years. That's what makes this so compelling. Both men have everything to lose. There's no good loss here. There's no moral victory. Winner takes all. The championship, the position at the top of the card, the future of the company. So here's where I'm going to get controversial, and I want you to blow up the comment section if you disagree with me. I think Bron Breakker wins this match. Not immediately, not at the first pay-per-view encounter, but I think by the end of this rivalry, whether it's at SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or the Royal Rumble, Bron Breakker is walking out as champion. Here's why. WWE is in a transitional period. The old guard is getting older. The company needs new stars now, not 5 years from now. They've tried with Theory, it didn't connect. They've tried with Grayson Waller, still finding his footing. But Bron Breakker, this guy has it. The look, the ability, the intensity, the presence. And Roman's accomplished everything. He's main evented WrestleMania multiple times, he's broken records, he's cemented his legacy. His story is essentially complete. What's left for him to do as champion that he hasn't already done? The smartest move for both characters, for both legacies, is to have this be the moment. The moment where the torch gets passed. The moment where WWE's future truly begins. I'm predicting a series of matches. Roman wins the first one, proving he's still got it. Maybe through some Paul Heyman interference, maybe through veteran savvy, but Roman retains. Braun looks strong in defeat, but he loses. Then the rematch. Maybe it's inside Hell in a Cell. Maybe it's an I Quit match. Something brutal that shows what both men are willing to sacrifice. And this time, Braun wins. Clean, decisive, no doubt. And we witness the birth of WWE's next top star. Look, I know some of you are going to disagree with everything I just said. You're going to say Roman should hold the title forever. You're going to say Braun isn't ready. You're going to say this is WWE rushing another young talent and they're going to ruin him, just like they've ruined so many others. And you know what? I want to hear all of it. Drop your predictions in the comments right now. Do you think Bron Breakker can beat Roman Reigns? Should he beat Roman Reigns? Is this the right time, or should WWE wait another year? Are you Team Tribal Chief or Team Bron Breakker? This is the conversation that's going to dominate WWE for the next several months, and I want Wrestle Scope to be the center of that conversation. But here's what I know for sure. This rivalry is exactly what WWE needed. Fresh matchup, legitimate stakes, two incredible performers at different stages of their careers, a story that writes itself. This is the kind of thing that makes wrestling matter again. Bron Breakker challenging Roman Reigns isn't just another program. It's the future challenging the present. It's the young lion telling the old king that his reign is over. It's everything wrestling is supposed to be. And I, for one, cannot wait to see how this plays out. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you want more deep dives into the biggest stories in wrestling, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment with your hottest take on this rivalry. And don't hold back, I want the controversy. Subscribe to Wrestle Scope if you haven't already, because we're covering this rivalry every single step of the way, from now until we have a definitive answer to the question, can Bron Breakker dethrone the Tribal Chief? Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Share this video with your wrestling friends and get them in on the debate. And remember, the scope is focused, the truth is clear. This is Wrestle Scope. I'll see you in the next one. Now get in those comments.